Hi, Cultus is a show about cults, if you haven't already guessed that. And with that comes a bit of a warning. Some of this stuff might not be suitable for young children or people who have problems with cults. If any of this triggers you, we're sorry. We told you. Please don't talk to us on Twitter about it. Thanks, and enjoy the show.
Hi, this is the Cultuscast.
Yeah,
It's
that
a
would be a
podcast
little.
about cults.
Yeah, and cults and things.
As you probably heard from our disclaimer,
Hi.
I'm
Yeah,
Ryan,
and I'm Justin.
and we're not crazy people.
I mean, at least by my own definition, I'm not crazy. I haven't started a cult, so
I
there's
have
that.
yet to start a cult, and
Yeah.
that's where I'm saying
Yeah, so that's good.
I'm
Although,
better than the people we're talking about.
I mean, I at least try to be. I hope I am.
I recycle, so I bet
I
these people
recycle.
don't
I'm a good
recycle.
person.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Bet
mean,
they
they
don't
make it easy
recycle.
for me to recycle, but I mean, it's fine.
Right.
So we've got this story about our first cult here, and and happy Halloween, everyone.
Oh, yeah, that should be
Yeah,
in three
that's
days, 4 days.
that's yes from here now and things whatever. So yes. And so basically, we're going to do this whole thing. We're probably going to put in some jokes. So if you're offended by jokes, you should probably just give up now, right away, immediately.
Okay, so our reasoning here is the fact that like this is going to be doom and gloom, as you heard from the like disclaimer at the beginning. I mean, we're talking about cults.
Yeah,
Most of them, there are probably some peaceful cults, and
I
maybe we'll
mean,
talk about them.
sure.
But
They probably didn't end up on the
um,
news.
yeah,
So
probably
there is
not as
that.
much. Generally speaking, like there are some freaking terrible things that
Yeah,
happen.
there's
I'm
lots of
like
terrible
editing
humans.
myself and not cursing. I'm like, this already has the explicit label. I can say shit.
Yeah, just done.
Um,
It's just yeah, it's right out of the
it's
gate.
done
I
before we
we've
started.
done we've done the disclaimer. You can
Yeah, it's y'all's fault now. So
in the Reddit world, guys, this is the internet. You can say fuck. It's a
exactly.
thing. Yeah. So
Hmm. Yep.
so
So this is gonna
anyway,
be fucking bad. There are
yeah,
some really awful things that happen.
yeah. And
Um,
we're also in this particular one, what you're going to learn very quickly, and I think probably this is going to be a trend over podcasts, but we will see about future cults. Um, when you kill a very waspy looking dude, um, you tend to get the attention of the police.
if you're
So
killing brown people, the police will ignore you.
yeah, that seems to be the
But
case
if
for
you
this
kill a
particular
white
episode.
person,
As soon as that happens, this white guy who's
you
in
are
medical school,
fucked.
you're done. You're
Yep,
done.
you're done.
You
You're
just
fucking done.
it's yeah. So this is this cult. It was hard to find information on this, and making this the first episode was a little bit of a stretch, but
But
we
it's
made it.
spooky for Halloween.
It is spooky for Halloween. So this cult, they're all about human sacrifices.
They are called Los Narcosatánicos, or
Yeah,
the Narco Satanists,
yeah. So they're devil worshippers and drug dealers, which is pretty
as you do.
as that seems to coincide with each other. So the
Yeah, why
main
is that though? Think about that though. Like, there's all these satanic like people that are in small towns, and I swear to
uh-huh.
God, they're all meth dealers too.
Yeah, that's really weird. It's true though.
Like, why is every like trailer park meth dealer in the Midwest also a Satanist?
I don't know, but you're kind of right. They're
Like,
either
that's
Satanists or
absolutely a thing.
neo-Nazis. That's one of the two.
Or
Or maybe a
both.
little both. Hey, I'm
Maybe a
not
little
going to
bit of
judge.
column A, a
Yeah.
little bit of column B.
Yeah, exactly. So the dude who founded this, his name is Adolfo de Jesus Constanzo. Um, so
We
he
speak
was
Spanish so well.
super good.
So good.
Yeah, buckle up, kids. It's going to be a good time.
Whew.
So he was born to a 15-year-old Cuban immigrant.
Which is like a rough start.
And really, I think if you look at like a lot of serial killers and cult leaders, maybe we'll see if they follow the same trend. Teen moms, you're
Yep.
kind of setting your kids up for a pretty rough
It's a
life.
rough time.
Yeah,
Yep, for sure.
and I think that's as sad as that is, it seems to be a pretty solid pattern, at least amongst serial killers that I know about. They almost all were born to like teen moms. Um,
Yeah, like there's a podcast I listen to that's specifically about serial killers. It's not serial, shock. Um,
right?
but they have something they refer to as serial killer bingo, and it's like abusive childhood, alcoholic father, like moms that are a little bit too close with their sons,
It's like the
sexual abuse.
it's like similar to the triangulation of a psychopath, right? You have to have like the three, the
Yeah, well, and
trifecta.
also, you know what's a really weird common occurrence?
Hmm.
So many of them murder some,
Mm.
then go to the military.
Yeah, isn't that strange? I guess they just kind of look at it and they go like, well, there's probably a lot of murder there, and no one's gonna
Yeah, is
really
it that or is it
care.
like maybe the structure will fix me?
Oh, that could be too. There could be
But
like
then
a
it just makes it
self-preservation thing.
worse.
So in this guy's case, though, he really didn't do any of that.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Um, so he was a Cuban immigrant, or his mom was a Cuban immigrant, right? She gave birth to him in Florida,
In
1962.
1962.
Yeah.
Single mom, 15-year-old, 1962. That's a
Um,
combination.
so she had a husband at some point. We don't really know a whole lot about him.
Yeah, I was unclear on whether it was
Like whether
like
he's the father,
his
don't
actual
know.
father or like
Yeah.
just a random husband.
So she went back to Puerto Rico, or well, not back. I think me thinking Cuban and Puerto Rican is the same thing.
Mm,
Jeez, I'm terrible.
yikes.
That's stupid. So
We
so
gotta
she moves
start
to.
over. Hold on.
Like, hold on, we're 6 minutes in and we have just completely destroyed this.
Yep.
Um, no, so she moves to San Juan, Puerto Rico, and I
She gets him baptized Catholic, but
yeah, which is interesting. I guess because Puerto Rico, like, they're kind of all about that Catholicism.
yeah,
Um,
I just think a lot of
so
Central American countries are very Catholic
yeah, that's very true.
traditionally.
Except for yeah, uh,
Haiti, apparently, which is where
yeah,
she took him a lot to
a lot
learn
of that.
voodoo. So that'll do it. That'll do it.
Wait, isn't right? I
What?
don't think isn't Puerto Rico. I don't think it's in Central America.
Does it count or not? Like it's sort of by. Okay, we
I
got
get it's not
six
stuck in
minutes
Central.
in. Time to Google
It's a
something.
Caribbean island, so it's part of the Caribbean.
I mean, it is a Spanish-speaking country
That is true.
somewhere near the
It's tech.
equator, and
Yeah,
I'm a fucking idiot.
that's fine.
So,
It's fine.
like,
We're
honestly,
doing.
okay, to be
We're
fair
trying.
though,
We're trying.
it is on the same level as Belize and Guatemala.
You're right. You're right.
I like it's the Caribbean, but
I mean, Belize and
there's
Guatemala are attached to Mexico, so I mean,
and I mean, you know. So actually what's weird is that she went further away because
yeah, she
Cuba's a
did.
lot
So
closer to Florida.
yeah, and so she flies to Puerto Rico. Like you said, they did trips to Haiti.
Which is
Learn all
actually
about.
not that far.
No, not really. Not
Looking at
from.
this map, like if you go into the Dominican Republic and drive, it's not so
Yeah,
far.
you could pretty much just get over there.
There's highways.
So he learns a lot about voodoo there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they basically from there, I guess they moved back to Miami in like '72, and apparently you can apprentice to be a sorcerer. This is like Mickey Mouse. You remember the Mickey Mouse character? He's like the sorcerer's apprentice. That's him. Uh, he's uh, he's apprenticing with a local sorcerer at this point, and
Yeah,
he
which is just like a thing, like
yeah, why
but
not?
it's not like Harry Potter,
No, this
unfortunately.
one involves animal sacrifices.
Um,
Um,
just it's like it's not Wingardium Leviosa, it's Palomayombe, which apparently is like Wingardium cut the head off a dove.
Yeah, a lot of that. A lot of just a lot of hacking and sawing. Um,
So much blood.
apparently, him and his mom get arrested a lot during
Yeah,
this
they
time as
apparently had
well.
like some little like duo of doing just like small crimes like petty
Yeah,
theft and
I,
rob like mugging
and
people
I
and shit in Miami, which this is the 70s in Miami
yeah,
and
and you're a single mom, or you're
the
a
gays
single.
hadn't come yet, so
Yeah,
Miami was a
the
little
gays
rough.
hadn't destroyed Miami yet and
The
made it
gays
better.
revitalized Miami.
That's what I meant. Not destroyed. The gays didn't. Well, they
Listen,
destroyed the crime. That's
Justin,
probably more accurate.
freaking God, what's his face? Holy shit. Um, oh
Yes,
God, they just released the TV series about it.
I'm not following. I don't know.
Oh my God, he's a famous designer. Versace.
There it is. Okay.
So, Versace, he moved there, and
Oh
he was
yeah.
very gay, and he sort of
Super gay.
revitalized big chunks of Miami, and then he got assassinated. So,
Oh man, every time,
which is
you
just
try
a
to make
thing.
progress. So a bit, and like we
So
talked about.
Versace's not there, and it's still shitty.
Yeah, yeah. So this is pre Versace Miami, which just it's like the not cool version of Miami Vice. Like there aren't
Right.
any cool cars and guys with
And
sunglasses and
cocaine is yet
yeah,
to dominate.
yeah. We're not quite there yet. So they're basically there. They're stealing stuff. They're practicing Palo Mayombe,
Also called Las Reglas de Congo.
which is like basically an African Santeria,
Yeah.
more or less,
So
from
it's
what we
it's
could find.
basically just like a lot of different things, but it's essentially just Santeria.
Uh huh. And so all natural objects, apparently sticks, are
They
thought to be
love
infused.
sticks.
Yeah, which was maybe they should have waited a little while for Miami,
Yeah.
and then there would have been lots of bundles of sticks. That's bad.
I
I'm
hate
sorry.
so much. I quit.
I'm sorry.
We've made no money and I already quit.
I give up straight away. I'm sorry.
They were
insensitive.
sticks infused with power and rocks
Yeah,
painted to
power
look like
sticks.
God's face.
Exactly.
That's
So
not what
just-
it is. They basically just
God
find
face
really
rocks.
powerful sticks.
Yeah.
Presumably, like they're somehow spirit infested sticks.
Yeah. I mean, I
Unclear.
don't know how you determine this. You just like pick up the stick and you're like, oh man, that stick's
It's like a
really
divining
making
rod,
me
but
feel.
for being insane.
It makes me feel feelings where I shouldn't feel feelings, and that's really important in the stick worshipping world, as it turns out. So, so after that, they decide. I guess his
He
mom's
does.
just out
I
of
don't
the
know
picture
what
now.
the fuck happened to his mom at this point.
Yeah, she
She's gone.
disappeared. She's probably sacrificed.
She's probably
she-
dead in like
he
the ocean, or like she
Yeah.
finally got arrested without him, and he was like,
got
"Bye."
deported.
Who can never be sure of
I don't
anything?
know. I mean, she probably. We'll talk about later where she probably ended up. But anyway, from there,
Little
he
town in
decides to
Mexico.
go to Mexico City, which is probably really hopping in the 70s with mostly
God,
just
that's
drugs.
probably insane, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
I mean, even today it's pretty bad, but obviously the war on drugs was really heating up.
You know what I'm thinking about this? Our mother would have been in Mexico City around this time.
Yeah, isn't that freaky? Because
Yeah.
yeah.
So she could have been the person that got.
She could have.
We're
Isn't
brothers.
that
We didn't
crazy?
address that.
Yeah, we're brothers. From
But
the same parents.
yeah, so she
Yeah.
was in Mexico in
That's
Mexico
pretty
City,
insane.
late 70s.
Yeah. So he goes to Mexico City. He decides that he's going to start a cult. There's not really a whole lot of information on how this ends up in.
Yeah,
other
he
than,
just
like,
sort of meets a bunch of dudes and starts kicking
Yeah.
it with Martin Quintana, Jorge Montes, and Omar Orea. And
Yeah.
they sort of just make a business, and
Mhm.
then they were a cult.
Yeah, and like he's the way he sort of gets into actually it being like more of a cult, I guess, is that he starts really looking into doing rituals for gangbangers, drug lords, all of those, the great members of society who really love violence.
It's like when you get a can of really cheap chili and the fat floats to the top.
Yeah,
That's what these people
that's
are.
them.
Fat
They're
on
just
top of
that.
shit.
Yeah, basically. And so, so yeah, like really, he's just like they really
Scraping
like the
bottom.
fact. Yeah, they really like the fact that he's just cutting up all these animals and sacrificing them. Apparently, that really gets him going.
I
Nothing
think
gets
it's
a
just
drug
like
lord.
flamboyant. You know?
Yeah, just
It's
it's very showy. Yeah,
Yeah.
and just blood everywhere. I mean, and nothing gets a drug lord going than a kilo of cocaine and some animal sacrifice on a Thursday.
God. I mean,
man.
I'm like ripping my hug just thinking about it. I'm also thinking like,
Oh.
there's something to be said about Catholicism and the sort of art and aesthetic, where it's all very
yeah.
gilt gold and high detail, and it's
Sure,
just sort of
yeah.
flamboyant and whatever. And I wonder
that's
if
true.
that's more
Especially
like
in
because
his
the flamboyance and the all that sort of stuff sort of aligns.
yeah, it
with
kind of ties
those.
all into it.
Yeah,
and
not
especially like
saying that
like-
Catholicism is about animal sacrifice before anyone gets pissed off.
No, but like if you look at like specifically like Hispanic countries and like the Catholicism there, like they really do have a lot of showiness to like the buildings.
I think
and,
it's
like,
all.
the
I mean,
robes and the
I've been to
gold.
Vatican City. That is
Yeah.
true of every Catholic thing.
Okay,
like
fair enough. Yeah, like
they
they're very,
really
there's
do
a lot
like
of
the pageantry
ornate
and
stuff. Yeah,
the presentation and the ornate.
so vintage.
I mean, they did that Met Gala ball.
That is true.
That
You
was
make a
what
good
this
point.
year was
Yeah.
like art in the Catholic Church.
Yeah, I mean it's very
Catholics are known for their showiness as far
Right.
as like
So
ornate
maybe
shit.
it's just if something is very avant-garde, maybe they're just really into it. I don't know.
You know.
Um, so essentially, now that we're getting into this, where do they put all of the animal sacrifices, Ryan?
I'm pretty sure that you're wanting me to talk about the pot, the weird
Yeah,
pot.
yeah.
I think we've skipped some things. I don't know where
Maybe.
the thing about the pot is. Where's the?
Oh,
Oh God, it's just not.
we're not very
Oh,
organized
there it
here.
is. It's called an nganga.
Yeah, nganga,
Unga unga.
nganga,
It's
nganga.
nga nga. Unga unga. It's like a pot, like a cauldron.
Yeah, yeah. It's
It's
just a
like some Harry
cauldron.
Potter shit, but less
It's like a
cool.
witch's brew, but full of things.
Full of lots of sticks.
And I actually searched this online, and it's like it looks like this crazy, like sort of, I don't know. It's very strange looking. There's like chains and locks and stuff, like they're locking the spirits
Spirits in.
inside. Yeah. So
They like to put. I know they like to put blood in it and like boil it with the sticks.
yes,
Like they
it's
like
like
it's
trapping
it's not just
spirits in
like a
there.
cauldron like it sits there. Like it's they
Now
put it
there's
over fire.
yeah, and there's like the spirits. You have to like I don't know. You basically put crap in it to make the spirits happy. That are living
Yeah.
in the pot. It's basically like a genie, but a little trashier,
Well, and a good way to get
basically.
spirits in your pot is also to start robbing graves and
Ah,
putting
yes,
human
yes,
bones in it,
yes, yes. He
which is also
definitely.
something they start doing.
Yeah, at some point he's just like, you know what, guys? I think we need bones,
The
but
sticks
like
aren't cutting it. The
human
spirity
bones.
goodness is
Yeah,
just not
it's not
there.
there. So
Bones.
he basically believed that his magic spells were responsible for his success,
Well,
and
and the success of like every cartel.
yeah, so
Like he
everybody
thought
who's
that
his
he was
clients,
like
he's like
the
the
reason
guy.
drugs were happening in Mexico.
Yeah. So after he's doing his human sacrifices, he's like, man, these human sacrifices are working so well.
Well,
Not
and he
because
like
Mexico is hella corrupt in the 70s.
yeah, and he's like working for a family called the Cazadas,
Yeah.
and he wants a big cut
He's like,
because
hey
he's
guys,
like, this is my doing.
I'm pretty good at this, and I think you guys are shortchanging me on your success.
And
You're
they said
definitely
get
not like the
fucked.
mob. Yeah, they basically told him to go pound sand, and so he got mad. And this, I think, is really where they start being the human sacrificey kind of cult,
Because seven
because
family members of the Caldazas
yeah,
just disappear.
yeah, and they're like missing stuff. Like, so the bodies turn up later, but they're missing like toes and ears, and in one case, a spine. Like the
Yeah,
whole spine. Like, how do you
brains are
remove just
gone.
the spine
I
from a
you know I
human?
imagined he probably did like a get over here
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
just
just like that. There's what's that old video game where he just pulls the spine out?
oh shit, was that Mortal
Yeah,
Kombat?
yeah, something like that. So he just like
Finish
it's a
him.
finishing move where he just pulls the spine out. I think that's what we're looking at here. He's got some voodoo stuff. I mean, you have to be a pretty experienced shaman, I think, to just rip out a spine. That takes a lot of force.
Honestly, it's like I think
Um,
that's the next level after chiropractor.
yeah, you just
I
rip
think
the
if you go
spine out.
back to school after you become a chiropractor, you
Yeah,
just learn how to remove the bones.
yeah, the bones, just whole bones. Just like that bone was bugging you, just pull it out.
Bam, gone.
Yeah,
Again,
boom.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like that time Lockhart did that one thing. He
Oh
was
yeah,
just
right.
trying to put
Just like,
Harry's arm bone in his nga
oh
nga.
yeah, and he took all the bones out,
Yep.
and they're gone
To
forever.
be fair, it didn't hurt anymore, and that's what counted.
Yeah, got bone-itis. Um,
Got itis in
so
my bones.
it's itis in my bones. So like, there's not really a whole lot of information too that I could find at least. He doesn't really seem to like really like participate with that family anymore. He kind of seems to disappear off that chart after that
Yeah, and he
point.
sort of just becomes like his own drug lord.
He's just doing his own thing.
He kills
It's really
seven of them, and then
strange.
he's like, time to start my own drug family then.
To like, I'm gonna go start mine with an nganga and blackjack and hookers, and I think that's really how that happened.
Honestly, true.
Yeah, yeah. So he ultimately becomes like El Padrino, which like the
Yeah,
godfather of
yeah,
his own like, and it's his like a self-acclaimed title. I mean,
right.
we're not
Oh,
mincing
I'm
words
sure
here.
he made them call him that.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure he was like,
all about it.
guys,
He's like, oh my
you're
god,
gonna have to call me the Godfather now.
do you want to end up in the cauldron? I
Yeah,
didn't think
do
so.
you want your
All
spine
right.
removed? I
I
can
just
do that now.
I just feel like he holds it, holds up the cauldron with the spine like kind of flopping out, and he's just like, "You want this? is this what you want? Because
You
this
know, I'm
is,
just thinking that's a lot of connective tissue, and if you're
yeah, man.
boiling it all the time, wouldn't it
Oh my
eventually just be
god.
stick and blood jello?
Yeah, it's like
Do
Jello.
you clean
I
the unga unga out?
mean, I
Because,
don't
like, I'm
know.
gonna
I
be
mean,
honest with you, like, you
like
have to turn the
it's.
fire off at some point, and, like, this is
I
how you
mean,
make chicken broth at home,
you
except with water instead of blood.
in human broth. Yeah. I mean, I guess like, is there a guy that just stands there all day and sprays like Febreze on it so
Is
that it
there, like,
doesn't
a unga unga
smell?
kill? Like,
Yeah.
it's just, like, uh, is there someone that cleans it? Is that like a on the chore wheel?
I mean, maybe some of the sticks are there's a chore. You get to clean the cauldron,
Oh,
boy.
man.
Like, oh man, I gotta clean the cauldron. Yep, get in
Yeah, you
there.
sure do.
Oh, and watch out for the spirits. They don't like to be angered.
They sure don't. Get
Yeah.
some Comet and some elbow grease, and you clean them spirits out.
So this dude eventually, I guess, as things go, he basically like finds the Hernandez brothers who are kind of running drugs,
Yeah,
and that's kind of how he ends up making his business.
and like
Um,
seemingly based on what I'm getting, he's just sort of shoehorns himself in and says, "I run this now,"
yeah,
and they went,
basically,
"All
they're
right,
like, all right, that's fine. This seems
you have
okay.
spirits."
This
So
guy's got a pot, and he keeps threatening me with it. I don't know anything about it. It just seems
every time I
scary.
say something disagreeable, he raises his eyebrows and says, "Do you want to go in the pot?"
Yeah, and he just
And I don't
he
think I do.
sometimes he shakes a spine around. I'm not I'm not sure what that is. I don't know this guy.
Awful,
This
just
guy. I don't know where
worst.
it came from. So yeah,
Yeah, he runs our drug business now.
yeah. So he's doing this drug thing. Apparently a lot of these cult guys. I don't know how this works. Is there like a cult dating service? You just meet
It's like
people that
it's
you
like
wanna.
farmers only,
Yeah,
but
but
for cult
cults.
leaders.
Yeah, like cult leaders. So it's
I
just like,
don't
hey,
know. There's
you know,
there's
I'm
gotta
really.
be there's gotta be something.
I'm like
Because
I'm
it's serial killers
charismatic.
too.
Let me cast a spell on your heart.
Yeah.
Using another man's heart.
Hey girl, you know what gets all the other ladies going? This heart. I can't give you my heart, but I can give you Fred's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I've got tons. I got tons here. I got so
I got
many.
like 5 hearts I can give
I
you.
have so much heart to give. It's like, well,
You
that's
don't know
not. I
about
don't
all the
know that
fucking
that's
hearts I
necessarily
have.
positive. That seems a
Do
little
you want an
concerning.
O or do you want an O positive, baby?
Oh right.
Oh
Yeah.
right. So he meets a woman.
Yeah, and
Uh
she big as I
oh,
understand.
she thick.
She
So
big.
her name is
Girl
Sara
big.
Maria Aldrete Villarreal.
Yeah.
Villarreal.
Yeah.
Which Villarreal would be like royal house, right?
Yes. I think so. Yeah. Pretty
Villarreal?
sure. Yeah. Villarreal. Yeah. That's like
Sarah
house
Maria
house god.
Aldrete Royal House.
Yeah. She's classy. At least in
She was
name.
born in '64, so she's like I think a year younger than him.
Yeah, something like that.
And she was born and raised in Matamoros, Tamaulipas, Mexico, which is like right across the border from Texas.
Yeah.
And she actually went to school in Texas,
Yeah,
north of the
so
border.
yeah, and so she has resident alien status because of
Mhm.
this. So
Well, she graduates high school, and then she's like, I'm gonna get the resident alien status so I
yeah,
can
that's it.
go to
So
college
yeah,
at
she goes to college.
Texas Southmost College in Brownsville, which is also where she went
That
to.
sounds that sounds awesome.
Oh, it sounds good. You know, I've been to South Texas, like down in that
Uh-huh.
area.
It's hot.
Oh, it's shitty too.
Yeah, well,
Sorry,
they don't
Texas.
you
Most of
don't
you
really get
sucks.
a name like Brownsville for
Yikes.
being awesome and green. I
Yeah.
don't think.
Um,
So she, yeah,
she
she's
goes
interestingly
to
like
college
yeah. So
for
she's a
physical
college
education, and
yeah
she's an
honor
honor
student.
student. So
Yeah, she's
congratulations.
good at that. And basically, she was actually raised in the same city that they're very notorious for killing people
Hmm.
in. As we get into that here in a minute.
Which I'm like, did she like graduate college? Because they acted like she did have a degree.
Yeah. Like
Um,
they said, she was an honor student. She apparently got a physical education degree.
which
She's
she's
gonna
6 foot
teach the
one,
kids.
so she is
Yeah,
every like
she's got a high jump.
stereotypical elementary school physical education
Oh yeah,
teacher
yeah,
ever.
yeah.
Um,
I'm just kind of picturing that. You know, she's probably dunking on kids.
oh,
It's pretty
exactly. Yeah,
cool.
she's
Yeah,
got the shorts, the knee highs.
yeah, exactly. And
Like
when
she's
she's
living.
not dunking on kids, she's apparently learning witchcraft.
As you do.
So
Um,
that's a thing.
oh God, but not the like fun witchcraft. Like I'm
Nah,
casting a spell today. I got some willow branches. No, it's like
no, it's
today I'm casting a like thing by raping a corpse and putting their blood
Yeah.
in a cauldron. Like
Yeah.
that's what we're
Lots of
talking
yeah.
about.
Yeah, apparently that's
Um,
a big thing for Mr. Adolfo.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
Costanzo's real all about that, and
oh yeah.
at some point he's just like getting this reputation for just going around and, well,
It's
he's
not
basically raping
gay
drug
if
dealers.
you're having sex with corpses that are men because they're corpses. It's
Yeah,
more
yeah, I think
about the
it's just
dead
yeah.
than it
Hmm.
is about them. So
Apparently,
she's
that's
back
his thing.
home and she just like meets a guy and picks up which guy. You know, like
I met a
sometimes you meet a
boy,
guy and you're
and
like, I'm gonna like, he really likes like this one particular game. So I'm gonna pick up this game and I'm gonna start playing it just cause.
because
Yeah,
maybe humor him a bit,
I'm sure that's
show a little.
universal.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
like,
guys do
oh
that
man,
too for girls.
right,
Like,
sure, they're like, oh
I'll
man,
just I'll start listening to this kind of music 'cause she
yeah,
likes
I
that kind
like
of
that
music. So
band,
she's
she
like,
likes that band, like we'll
I'll
do that
start
together.
sacrificing people to Satan 'cause he
Yeah,
likes
it's
sacrificing
pretty
people
trendy
to
right
Satan.
now. It's
Yeah.
coming up.
I
It's
mean,
gonna be
American
the new
Horror
black.
Story, like the witch one,
Yeah,
doesn't come out for another 30 years, but like we're getting ahead of the curve.
yeah, really, we want to make sure that this is an autobiography in the future.
Exactly. So
So,
she's learning black magic, and
mm-hmm.
she becomes like, okay. So apparently at this point, let's do this. He is like like once he meets her, the killing really ramps up.
Yeah, he really gets into it at that point. I don't know if whatever, maybe it's the testosterone,
I
um,
you know.
or whatever. He's just really
Whew.
he's getting fueled into
Honestly,
that
I
killing.
almost wonder, like, she's a physical education teacher. Did she just do like a Rocky montage with him?
I
You're
mean,
the
maybe just
best
like he's really getting fit.
around. And he just like got so fucking pumped in his like 3 sweatshirts.
She's
He's
like,
like,
dude,
God, I can kill so much better now. Thank you.
we can really teach you how to harness that spine
You
tearing
teach me
for
magic, and I'll teach you how to more effectively rip the spines out of men.
yeah. See, what you're doing is you're leaving the rib bones
You gotta really go
partially
with your
intact.
core
You gotta
muscles.
really, yeah. It's important to practice safe lifting. I think
Exactly.
that's
You don't
you
want to
gotta
like
bend with
herniate
your knees.
yourself
Yeah,
while
you gotta
ripping the
stretch out
spine out of a
before
man.
as well. It's very important to stretch ahead of time.
So yeah, basically what he's about is he's ramping up the killing.
Uh
He's
huh.
finding drug dealers that like don't really do the things he wants and are
And
like
just
competitive or whatever. He's
yeah,
killing them. He's
just
raping
asserting
them,
dominance.
and then
Yeah,
he's cooking their body parts in the
in
cauldron.
cauldrons. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome. So and then like he decides, like most cult leaders, he's just gonna go and he's gonna move to the desert.
into a
Um,
house,
yeah, into a house.
which I have alternately seen described as like a large house and a shack. So it's somewhere
It's a
between a
large
mansion and a
shack.
shack.
I'm gonna call it a modest
A
shack.
modest shack. A
a
modest
modest
trailer.
a modest shack. A modest mobile home is one from one of our favorite podcasts. A modest mobile
Whew.
home.
Like,
Um,
yeah, so somewhere between like some sort of
yeah.
palatial Mexican dream
Mm,
house and
yeah.
like a fucking
At Pueblo.
hillbilly shack that's
Yeah, with
getting
dirt
like,
floors.
yeah, dirt floors with wind blown through.
Yeah,
Something in
and
that range.
regardless of how much or how big this house is, he's just packing it full of cocaine and weed,
Oh,
marijuana,
so
just like
much. This
stacking
is
it to the ceiling.
1988, so you know it's
Yes,
cocaine.
so he knows the cocaine's really getting
Oh
into
yeah.
it now. Yeah, we're at peak cocaine coolness at this point. Lots of stock traders are very
Oh, I'm
into
sure
that at this
Dallas was
point.
full of fucking cocaine,
Oh
and
yeah.
most of it
Oh
probably
yeah.
came from this guy's
Yeah.
fucking
This
double
probably
wide
this
in the
guy.
tray in
Yeah.
the.
It turns out if you liked cocaine in the 80s, it probably came from this man, and he is a peach.
Yeah. Yikes. So he's like running, marijuana and
Yep.
running bud and
Yep.
cocaine across the border, and he leaves Sarah in charge
Yeah.
every time he goes across.
She's got to
Um,
hang out at the Pueblo and
and like they all
distribute the
defer to
cocaine.
her, which is honestly
Very interesting.
feminist icon.
You know what? There you go. Exactly.
Feminist
Yeah, she
icon Sarah
is.
Aldrete. She
Man,
like first
they're
of
really
all,
going for that.
she's educated in the 80s. She got her degree on
She
her
got it
own in
on her
another
own
country.
from a small town in Mexico, got college in the U.S. I mean,
And
she
now
is
she's running her own business.
yeah,
Why she's like a like
small
the
business owner.
secondary CEO.
Yeah,
Like
like
the
woman small
president of the
business owner,
company.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's like the CEO of a small
And he
business
is the
in
board.
Texas.
He and all the
Yeah,
spirits are the board.
yeah. The spirits are like the board
He and the
members.
cauldron spirits are the board, and she is the CEO.
Weirdly enough, they have 12 votes and they all vote the same.
So
I don't get it.
strange.
So
It's
strange.
like the arm test from that one
Oh
episode.
yeah, yeah.
If you hold your
It's
arm
perfect.
out and I slap it and it goes down, like, and I grip it hard enough and it drops, God wants you to like fuck a dog.
Yeah, or something,
Literally,
just
literally.
yeah.
Um, so like she's being a small business owner. She's a hip hop happening 80s business
Yeah.
lady out in the desert, and
Yep.
he's really just wanting to be an all-powerful shaman by 89. Like
Yeah,
he's just
he's
really
in it.
tripping off
He's
that.
like, I am really. He's like, he's not really into the drugs. I think he's just getting the drugs so that he can fund his
It's
killings
like
and attract people.
work to fund your hobbies, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and that's really important.
Work to live,
I
don't
think.
live to work.
Yeah, and he's really the epitome of this. I think, and it's like it's one of those things where you go like, man, if I tell all these people that I'm a drug dealer, they'll follow me. But if I tell them that I'm just killing people in the woods, they might
Justin,
be a
this
little
is northern
apprehensive.
Mexico along the border. There's no woods.
So if
This
I'm killing
is
people out
Mexico
in the
south of
tumble,
Texas. If I tell
these,
people
like-
I'm killing people in the sage and brush grass,
they're like, we can see you.
we can
just
see you
murdering
raping that
guy.
corpse, my dude.
A lot of people don't just get killed next to the road. And it's like, sir, excuse me, stop with the murdering.
Also, Mexico in the 80s, so they are not fucking paying attention. They are driving past like that's
Oh
none
yeah,
of my
like,
business.
yeah, that's typical Tuesday.
Like,
So,
oh wow, didn't see that. I'm gonna
better-
go fucking back to where people live. Bye.
Best not get involved. So at this point, this is when people actually do get involved, though, because he decides that he's like, all right, this cauldron needs a human brain from an American.
Yeah.
Don't know
Well,
why.
like he decides it has to be
Yeah.
a really well-educated American.
Yes, and maybe he's like, really looking up to Sarah. He's like, man, you are so smart
Oh
and
my
cool,
God, an
and
educated
you're
woman.
a giant. And I think I need a brain, but I don't want your brain because you're really good at what you do. So I need your brain for in its body.
Yeah.
So we decide that he's like, man, we need this brain real bad.
Yeah. So a bunch of the cult members, on March 13th, 1989, that's 2 months before you were born.
Yeah, really, right
Yeah,
then.
yeah,
That
2
guy's
months.
getting abducted in Mexico.
Yeah. Wow. His like cult members, including the Hernandez brothers, abduct the pre-med student Mark Kilroy
Yeah.
from outside a Mexican bar that he was at. He was down there on spring break.
Man.
He was. Let's be real. Past tense. He was a U.S.
Was
citizen.
a U.S. Yeah, not really now, unfortunately
Yikes.
for him. And this is really where like I said, you made a mistake. This guy's a med student. He's out there on spring break, getting
He's
crunk.
like.
I mean,
well,
I don't
and,
know.
like,
He's probably whooping it up.
Also, it's just like poor people don't go on spring breaks to other countries.
No, not really. No.
I think like normal people don't even go to Miami Beach, so the fact that he's
Right.
going to Mexico probably means his parents are rich.
Dude probably won't. I mean,
Like a
lots of
pre-med
pre-med
student
student.
In
Pretty
Mexico
loaded.
for spring break. Like
Yeah, pretty much that. So ultimately, he's abducted. They somehow get him across the border, which
see,
there's
I
not
think
a
he
whole
was
lot.
I think he was in Mexico already.
Yeah, but like what? I mean, is it the ranch in Mexico? Or
No,
is it
the ranch is in Mexico. Like the
Okay,
ranch
it
is
in
like his
Mexico.
little.
Okay, I missed that. Yeah,
His,
the house in
it's
the
his
desert.
like it's called
His cocaine house in
Rancho
the desert.
Santa Elena is where.
Okay, so
all
it is in Mexico.
they
Oh yeah,
live.
that's right.
Yeah, and it is sort
So
of
it's in
in the
Matamoros.
desert in
Yeah.
Matamoros,
Got it.
Tamaulipas.
Okay. For some reason, I missed that when I was
Yeah,
reading
yeah, yeah.
through this.
Yeah,
I'm
he
a
had
bad,
crossed the border
terrible
to
person.
one of the border towns in
Right.
Matamoros.
So
and,
he kills this American dude, goes missing, and that's kind of when it falls apart for them, really. That because Texas is like, he done kill some.
He
that
killed
we kinda
someone
care
we care about.
Yeah, and we're gonna put some pressure on the police down there. Maybe make them try to look for him a bit more.
Yeah, so
So
Mexican police, to their
yeah,
credit, really stepped their shit up the second an American citizen died. Like, they
yeah,
were nowhere to be
pretty
fucking
much.
found when
They're like,
drug dealers were
oh
dying.
man, this guy hasn't paid us in quite enough money for us to keep silent about an
Well,
American. That's
also, I
kind of a
kind of wonder,
problem.
like, most of his victims up to this point have been drug dealers, so were the
Yeah, drug
Mexican police just
dealers.
sort of like,
I mean,
eh,
they're like, man, this guy's like Dexter,
he's
but for coke
kind of doing our
dealers.
job for us.
Like, this is fine. I mean,
Like, he's kind of a
he's
dick,
just
but
he's just culling the herd at this point. I mean,
we
we're
don't really
okay.
like the drug dealers anyway, so.
Yeah. I mean, or maybe they did and they were really looking for an excuse, right? I don't know how, I don't know what the bribery rate in Mexico is for police officers. I mean, I
Especially in
don't
the
know.
80s in
In the
that
80s,
location, no clue.
right. Yeah. I mean, there's been Mexico has really struggled with corruption, especially,
Currently, in the past.
currently in the past, all the
Honestly, I
time.
think it depends
Um,
wildly on what part of Mexico you're in, has been
Yeah,
my.
you're right too. It seems to be like, if there is a place where they're growing lots of cocaine and other things, it's kind of a thing.
Yeah,
So
because my impression has always been that, like, Mexico City is not, like,
it's not too shabby.
it's probably as good
Um,
as the city we live in, frankly.
yeah, yeah, you're right. You might disappear every once in a while.
Yeah, like, the murder
But
rate isn't great,
otherwise,
but otherwise,
I mean,
everybody's
it's
fine.
it's fine. Yeah, but maybe out in the middle of nowhere when it's really kind of the same scenario here in
It's
small town
literally just like
America.
Florida.
There's not a lot of opportunities, so they turn to crime, or they turn to drugs, or they turn to crime drugs, or in this
Well,
case,
and
Satan
also,
drugs.
isn't this the time leading up to NAFTA where we completely fucked the Mexican economy?
Yeah,
When
that would
did
have been in
NAFTA
the
go in?
90s. Would have been
90s.
99, I think. No, maybe a little before 99. It was
It was
Clinton.
Clinton, but I don't know
So,
how far back in Clinton's thing. So
oh, that would have been like the late 90s.
yeah, mid
Would
to
have been
late
Clinton.
90s.
So
We don't know
anyway,
shit. All we know is that
no,
we
we're bad.
researched a cult, and you're
I
listening
blame the
to
public schools. Yeah, thank you if you're still listening. By the way, we're
it. If
gonna
you
get
made it
to
this
get
far,
to this.
please tweet us
Yeah,
uh, something
at cultuscast. By the way,
at cultuscast on
yeah,
Twitter. You can tweet us unga unga, and we'll
unga
know you
unga.
made it this
Yeah.
far. 36 minutes
All
in.
right. Yeah.
So anyway, uh, the police really pick up as soon as they figure out, like, okay,
Yeah.
so who the fuck is this? Like, who the fuck would have stolen a med student? They
Right.
find the cult pretty fucking fast.
Yeah. It turns out they just they're on it. Like they
Which to
find
me means
like.
they knew they were there.
Oh yeah, I mean they pretty much were just like, oh yeah, I guess we have to. Oh my God, right
Oh
here,
no,
the
there was
whole
a
time.
cult. Wow.
It's so strange that it became so apparent all of a sudden.
Yeah,
that he
because
was
they
right here the whole time.
like it happens, and within like a couple days, I believe,
Yeah, they literally
like
just
a
show up at the
week,
ranch.
they're just
Yeah,
like,
it's
oh,
like
they're
right
already at
there.
the ranch, and
Yeah,
like
they're like, hey, so
digging.
yeah, we kind of need to get, and they're like, oh, you know what? We found the cauldron, and a human brain.
It had
So we
a
pretty
lot of
much
different
we
shit in it, including a dead cat, which is really sad,
That's
and human
depressing.
brain, which presumably was poor Mark
Yeah,
Kilroy, who was just
yeah.
trying to get crunk on some Dos Equis.
Oh man. So it's really yeah, it sucks a lot.
They also
Um,
started digging up the yard, and they
we
found
should probably excavate this
15
place.
mutilated corpses.
Yeah, so lots of dead
As you
bodies.
do.
One of which was Kilroy's, so
Yeah.
that was pretty much like yeah. So yeah,
And he
and
was killed by a machete chop to the back of the neck.
yeah,
Because
that's
Kilroy
pretty.
apparently tried to, like, they took him to the ranch and held him for
Uh-huh.
12 hours. I
Yes,
assume they tortured him,
I would have guessed so, or at least they just tied him up and left him
which
in a
is also
room.
torture.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Probably
He's
with
just
that
kind of
fucking
left there.
cauldron. They
He might
probably
not
just
even
left
speak
him in there with
Spanish.
the fucking cauldron. That
The
would have been
smelly
torture
ass
enough.
cauldron. It's
Probably
just right
smells
there.
like shit.
It's like, why did you? Oh God, this is awful.
God,
Like
can
that's
someone
probably
just give me a bottle of bleach
yeah.
to
Like
sniff?
seriously, it's just. Can you just cover that with something?
Like, can I
God, it's
sniff a bottle of
awful.
ammonia to get that scent out of my nose? It's probably fucking terrible.
So basically, after hearing the ranch gets raided, Costanzo takes off. He bails.
Because he says prison? No thanks.
No, I'm not. I don't want to go to prison.
It's really
Ultimately.
hard to
And
sacrifice people to Satan in prison.
so for some reason, he decides to go to the most populous place in Mexico.
Which,
He's just, you have to go to Mexico City.
yeah, I'm like, I have mixed
Yeah,
feelings.
like
It's like, on the one hand, because there's so
I
many
mean,
people you can hide, but on the other hand, like, just go to the central part where it's like thick jungle.
once again, I guess there's
You
no,
could
yeah,
just
like there's no
make a new
cabin in the
death house
woods.
in the jungle and
Yeah, just hang
sacrifice
out.
some monkeys and
Go to
parrots and shit.
South America or Central America where it's just all jungle.
Yeah,
Just
like
keep on
well, like
heading
the whole
south.
like
It's
Mexico
fine.
City is like dead center, and it's like a swamp, and then everything south of there, if I'm recalling correctly,
It's
is
just
like
jungle.
jungle
It's
and
close to
shit.
the
Just go
equator.
there.
Yeah, like rainforest kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
I don't
fucking
know
go
what
there,
his
man.
thing is, but basically he's hanging out there with Quintana and a few of his other cult people,
Yeah,
right? Like, and
Aldrete's obviously there.
yeah, and so he's like paranoid, right? He's sweating it like pretty hard here, and so the police, I guess they just get like a call. The neighbors are playing music or something. It's not really clear what they were
Yeah, just
responding
some
to, but
sort
they're
of like
basically
domestic issue.
they
It
just
wasn't
get called
anything.
to the apartment next door,
Well, it's
and
like
he
the
just
person
like
that lives like one floor above him or something.
yeah. So can you imagine you're just like the police, right? And you're just responding to like a stupid noise complaint. Jorge is playing his damn music, and I don't know,
The
being a
mariachi
dick.
music is just off the fucking
Yeah.
chain in this one apartment.
Like, oh, why is he practicing mariachi music 2 a.m?
Come
It's
on,
just
man.
ridiculous. And then all of a sudden, this dude's just like, police, and he just starts shooting at them.
Yeah, they just like
It's like,
all open fire on the fucking
police.
police, which
And
obviously like causes a massive police standoff.
can you just imagine this though? Like you're just going up, like, oh, fuck, I gotta deal with Jorge again. Are you serious? And this guy just leans out of his apartment, like, "You'll never take me alive, coppers!" and just starts shooting. I'm just like,
wildly
what?
shooting. Like what the fuck?
Like, well, I guess we found that guy. He's probably guilty of something.
Like this guy
Clearly.
probably did something if he's that
Yeah,
upset
like,
about us
it's
being
pretty
here.
obvious that this guy's probably a bit murdery.
Yeah.
So all the police show up, and obviously he's like, I ain't going to prison, man. They'll do horrible things to me in prison. I pulled a man's spine out. People probably know this. I think there's probably like half the drug dealers that he didn't kill are probably in prison and
Right.
they know him. It's hard to say for sure. He's really not
Plus,
going to prison though.
on a list of places where I would like to spend time in prison, I would say most Central American countries
Yeah,
are on that list.
Mexican
And like
prison
Mexico's
might
not
be
really
great.
Central America, but like I don't think Mexican prison's that much better than say Guatemala or something.
Yeah,
and I
I'm not so sure
have
that
heard
Mexican
that their
prison-
prisons are not great.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that would be fun. And it's probably hot, and they don't have air conditioning.
Oh
You're just
god, the
sweating.
humidity.
It's just-
Because Mexico City, if I'm recalling correctly, is like built on a swamp.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's a
So
swamp.
just
So like
humid.
the humidity is probably fucking terrible. It's
You
just like
basically
Washington
just-
D.C.
It's like it's being sentenced to 15 years of swamp ass.
Yeah, just like I mean he's
Yeah.
from Florida, so you would think, but like
Ah, man,
I just I I have visited DC in the summer and god damn it's awful. It's
Yeah.
so humid.
Oh yeah.
It's just like people weren't meant to live here. It's like I lived in Phoenix for 4 years. People aren't meant to live there.
This is the testament to human arrogance.
Oh,
basically.
for sure. It's like
Yeah.
that King of the Hill quote. It cannot be that hot.
Can't be that hot. So he basically decides he doesn't want him to go to prison, and he tells this dude named Alvaro de Leon he's like, you just shoot me in the face, I guess.
And they're like,
Um,
he's like, all right. He just
I-
shoots him in the
like,
face.
bro. Like he's like, hey, I don't want to go to prison. I just need you to shoot me in the face. And he's like, you know what, man, that's fine. Okay, I don't want to get my spine torn out. That's
Yeah,
really the
if
main
you
thing.
live, you'll
Um,
probably tear my fucking spine out and put me in that
Yeah.
stupid pot. So
Like, I don't want to
fine,
end up in this
bye.
stank ass cauldron, so I guess I'll shoot you in the face. And that's what they do. The police get inside and they're like, yeah, he did.
Oh, he's real dead. We're arresting
he's
all
dead.
of you. Oh, you're that death cult. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh,
Wow,
that-
we're
that-
good.
There it is.
We're so good
Man,
at our jobs.
We're so good at this. They basically, like, the Mexican police get to basically say that they're amazing, but honestly, it's total accident. Like
I
they
don't think-
basically just.
You know, in the 80s, American police were not good at speaking to each other, like across state lines and shit. And
Oh
like,
yeah, of course.
this was a complete different like county area.
Yes.
Does Mexico have counties? Do they call them counties or are they states?
It's kind of like provinces or states, I think. It's hard
yeah,
to say
but
for
I know
sure.
Mexico City is a completely different province, state, whatever.
Yes. Yes.
Than they were in before. So
Yes,
like,
because like, and then Mexico City's kind of far. from
yeah,
where
like
they
it's
were
quite
before.
a distance.
Like it's not really near the border.
It's
so
like, were the
they-
Mexican city police even fucking looking for this dude? Like,
No,
did they
probably
even know
not.
he
Like,
existed?
Like, and then like they just like kill him, and they're like, you know what, guys, we did a great job. We found him. It was
Making
bang
the
up job
ones
for
in
everyone. Good job.
what is it?
It looks like Coahuila. Is
Tamaulipas?
this Coahuila? Yeah. Oh yeah.
Tamaulipas
Yeah.
is where they killed all the people. So like they
Oh yeah,
told
yeah,
those
yeah.
guys like, "Oh, you guys suck. We're the best
Like
fucking
you guys
police
didn't even
force."
find them. They're like, I mean, we found the ranch. He was gone though.
And there were
So hey,
15 mutilated corpses, so we
yeah.
had a
So
good
we
idea.
found all the bodies. We knew that this was kind of a murdery cult.
Which, speaking of 15 murdered corpses, they interview Aldrete because, like, of course all the cult members are like, she did it. Like, she's second in command. She's taking the fall for this. And
She's
she's like,
like,
I never saw any of those
oh my
murders.
god,
I didn't see a single
bodies?
murder. And
You
honestly,
found bodies in my kitchen? Right under
sexually
my
assaulted
house?
and mutilated corpses in my
That
house.
seems. I seem like I would remember that.
She's like, I would never have joined the cult if I knew they were like that.
Oh god.
And the Mexican court system
I
said, bullshit, because
just
she
like
got
I was
sentenced to
watching
prison
Spanish CNN
forever.
and I saw that there were bodies, and I was like, oh my god.
like, okay.
Like, hey honey, how was work? Oh,
Because, like, the thing is, like, she was, one, he taught her black magic, so she knows
Yeah,
about the
I
human
mean, like,
sacrifice in the first place.
right. So it's like, oh, at this point, like, what do you do? You're just like, yeah. So we get to this point in the ritual, and we
And then I just leave the room and
well,
nothing
yeah.
happens.
Yeah, it's fine. After that, nothing.
But, like, I think all
I
the
thought
other
it was
cult
cherry
members
jello.
sold her the fuck out, because they were like, no, they both were
Like,
doing
this
it and
bitch.
directing other people to do it.
She's who taught Costanzo to lift with his knees when he's pulling the sponge.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
That's like she's really
like,
we're
so presume they like presided over this shit and directed the cult members to kill and sexually assault
yeah.
some of these people, and like
Uh-huh.
they did it themselves.
Yeah. So she was pretty much hosed.
And
from
they
the
had her
start.
on the like being second in command of a massive drug smuggling ring.
Yeah, so they had her at least for that. I mean, that's dead to rights that she was doing that. She's like, hey, I sold a lot of cocaine, but I didn't kill anyone.
I
That's
didn't
too
rip
far.
a spine out. I
Too
have
far.
class.
How dare you?
And,
I recycle.
I have a little note here, and I was like, she said if she knew the cult would be like this, she wouldn't have joined. That's probably going to be a common sentiment. I
Like,
think a lot of people, after they get out of the cult,
It's
are like,
God.
well, if I had known it would be like this, I wouldn't have joined.
Like, listen, if I had known that they were going to torture people, I think I might have taken a hard pass.
Yeah, like, I hadn't been indoctrinated when I joined, so for some reason they didn't tell me they killed people.
Yeah, like they failed to mention that this was going to be a killing kind of cult. I thought it was going to be normal, happy, fun times.
And,
cult.
just to round it all off, law enforcement burned the entire fucking place to the ground. They said, no looky-loos, no more human sacrifices, this shit is
Let's
an
just
ash
burn
pit.
this. What did they? They don't actually say what they did with the cauldron, so
Nope.
that might just be in the pile still.
Somewhere
I don't
out in the
know.
Tamaulipas desert, there's probably, like, a fucking
Yeah.
crater filled
Mm-hmm.
with, like, some rocks and timber and a twisted piece of metal. That's where this was.
Yeah, you probably don't want to touch that either.
Probably
It's a lot
don't
of,
go
lot
there.
of spirits.
Yeah.
A lot of mad spirits in there.
Yeah. That one's had a brain in it. Don't touch that.
Yeah. So,
Pro tip.
I mean, that pretty
Things
much
that held
rounds...
brains, don't touch them.
Yeah, don't. It's bad.
Generally bad.
Bad things.
What
Yeah,
are
generally.
GMOs? It's bad.
It's bad. It's bad.
I
okay?
showed you
It's
that
bad.
video, right?
Yes. I
Ugh,
believe
if
so.
you all haven't seen it, you need to find it. It's
So-
these two women. They're talking. They're like reading chips, and she's like, "These chips are gluten-free, soy-free, non-GMO." And the other one's like, "What's GMO?" And the
It's
first one's
bad.
like, "It's bad." It's my favorite. They're like my two
Oh,
last
man.
remaining brain cells reading a label of ingredients.
It's excellent.
Yep.
Asbestos free.
Oh, thank God.
Fantastic.
Not if Russia has their say.
So true. Clean, tasty asbestos. So, I mean, that pretty much rounds out this one.
Yeah, yeah, creepy.
It turns out Mexico wasn't
creepy
really good
death
at
cult.
record keeping, and everyone's dead. So, like, well, that's about all we know.
Well,
about
actually,
this
I
cult.
think she's still alive. Like she's still
Is
in
she?
prison.
Oh, she's still in
Well, because
prison.
she was
Mexican
born in the
prison.
60s. She was born in
Oh, yeah.
64, so 80, like 90-ish was when this
Yeah,
all went
you're
down.
Right. So, I mean, yeah, she's probably still
So she
alive.
was only 24.
Yeah, so she's like in her 50s now.
Yeah. So if
So,
she's
yeah, she's
lived
still
this long
alive.
in Mexican prison, she's
Yeah.
kicking it still.
No real status on her either, to be
Nope.
honest.
To be
But,
honest with you, like it was actually really hard to find some of this because like
yeah, it was super difficult. They didn't put a lot. There's not a lot of
Most of the
Wikipedia,
newspaper?
Not great.
I found some newspaper articles, but most of them were actually Brownsville.
Yeah,
because she had
Brownsville,
been there, and
Texas.
so they
Yeah.
like focused on her.
Yeah,
Um,
and then like there's some stuff that sort of went around like Mark Kilroy's death because that seems to be the only death anyone really cared
yeah,
about. So
yeah.
that's kind of how
There's
they
like
got
no one
found.
listed. Like none of the other victims have any names that I found.
No, no,
Um,
they didn't know about any of it, and I assume that's because the Mexican government probably didn't know who they were. They were probably like gangbangers and drug dealers, so
yeah,
like
yeah.
they may not be really keeping too many tabs
Well,
on
and
them.
also it's just like there's probably some court records somewhere that I could pay some Mexican
Sure,
municipality to dig up and find some more specifics, but like
but I don't speak Spanish.
I don't read Spanish that well, and also like I don't know that they would even have
Like,
like
did they
Mexico
keep?
City court records from 40 years ago.
Yeah,
Like
like
it's
do they
just
have
not.
those records still? Did they keep that?
Yeah,
It's hard to really
like
say.
hard to say.
So anyway, I mean that's pretty much this first episode.
Yeah, that was Cultus.
That's the Narcosatanistas,
Los
Satanicos,
Narcosatánicos.
Satanicos. That's it.
Los
And
Narcosatánicos, the narco
that's been
Satanists.
so. Yeah, this has been Cultus. I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more episodes in the future. If you have any requests for cults you'd like us to check out, we're cultuscast at gmail.com and also at cultistcast on Twitter. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, feel free to send us anything on Twitter and whatever. It's all
Yeah,
set up, and it's an easy way for us to interact with you and
yeah.
not reply back if you bitch about the fact that there was death and murder and corpse rape. Because
Yeah, I think
I
you pretty
mean,
much get what you pay for on the tin.
yep.
So, all right. Well,
I
thanks,
didn't think
guys.
leopards would eat my face, said woman who voted for leopards eating people's faces.
So yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging in there, and we'll see you guys next time.